So, Movement Not Miracles time already. Where does the time go? And I am back in my usual haunt today, not outside on my Mediterranean veranda as I was yesterday. So, Friday, and another week has gone by, so it's going to be a bit of a mixture session today. No real theme, a bit of an all over, I guess. But we're going to focus on getting your joints mobile and giving you some ideas of some of the things that you can do to look after your posture and to just make sure that you can stop joint stiffening up and keep your joints healthy and ward off some of those aches and pains that I am still trying to work through my upper back. So you won't be surprised to know that we've got some upper back stuff in today's session. So I am Anna from Eat, Move, Be Happy, and Movement Not Miracles is our weekly midday session of just giving you some ideas on keeping you mobile. We're going to start off with downward dog. Some of these you'll be able to do seated, some of these you won't, so I will show you the variations. If you are seated, and this one's going to be, you won't be able to do this one in its entirety, but you can certainly bend forwards and stretch through your back so that you can use a surface to push your arms down into. And I'm just watching Martha, my cat, who has been asleep, and she's now deciding she wants to go out. So bear with me 1 second. Off you go. No, that way. There we go. I didn't put her out because she was fast asleep. Typical. Anyway, we won't worry about that too much. So, downward dog. Hopefully you're going to be able to see me. I'm going to move back a little bit. We haven't done this one this week. So, if you haven't done this one before with me, it's a basic yoga move and a good all over body mobility and stretch. So one of my favourites. We're aiming for start on all fours with your toes tucked under and think of your weight through your shoulders, through your hands, and spread your fingers wide so that you can feel your weight through all of your fingers. So a lot of yoga postures are about bringing awareness to different parts of your body, and I know that might sound a really obvious thing to do, to feel the weight through the whole of your fingers, but sometimes we miss out because our weight isn't evenly distributed. So we might find that we have more weight through our thumb or maybe through the back of the hand, but you want all of your weight through all parts of your hand on the floor. And tuck your toes under. And as you lift your hips up and push back with your arms, you're aiming, I'm going to move forwards a little bit now so you can see, you're aiming to lift up through the hips and get your heels towards the floor. So first time doing this, we're going to wake our backs up a little bit, so we're going to alternate between that one and then the child's pose, where you sit back onto your heels with your knees wide and fold yourself forwards and just relax into that pose. And then we're going to come back to the downward dog. Let your head relax and then come back forwards. Right, this time in the downward dog, I want you to think about what's happening with your shoulder blades. So there's a lot going on in this move. You could just stick your bottom in the air and sort of balance on the balls of your feet and your hands. Now, in that position there, I'm not working at all through my back or through my legs, so it's not really stretching anything. So to really get into the stretch through the backs of your legs and the mobility part in your back, then you have to put some effort in. as with most things. So I'm going to move my camera back a little bit because I don't think you can see all of the... There we go. See if that's a bit better. So as you lift up through your hips and push back through your arms, I want you to think of your shoulders are back and down, so away from your ears, and your shoulder blades should be squeezing onto your back. And then as you lift your hips up, really think of pushing your hips high and squeezing through those shoulder blades. So now I've got a bigger stretch through my legs, the back of my legs, and I've got more extension through my spine. And then we'll take that one back down. And this time again, as you fold yourself forwards with this pose, rather than just relaxing down, I want you to think of pushing your arms down into the floor and squeezing your shoulder blades onto the back of your chest. So you're opening up through your armpits, and your bottom should be as close to your heels as you can. So the more you work through your shoulders and your arms, then the more you can access your upper back. And the more you work through your hips, the more you can access the stretch in your back. Depends on how flexible you are in your hips and your ankles as to whether you can get your heels close to the floor. Do what you can do. That's okay. Right, so we're now going to do a crocodile stretch, and you can do this one seated. So if you're in a chair, and I'll turn to the side so that you can see. So sit away from the back of the chair and sit nice and tall with your weight evenly distributed. And you're using your arms as the crocodile jaws. So you're going to turn and twist through your body and aim to get the jaw open as wide as you can. So you're aiming to get as much of your chest round as you can and really stretch with your arms. If you can use the floor, then we're going to do that one exactly the same, but laying on our side. So lay up on your hips and your shoulders, one leg resting on the floor, and your crocodile arms are over on the side. And you just rotate round, trying to keep your knee as close to the floor as you can. Sometimes it helps just to hold onto your knee, but bearing in mind that will increase the twist in your lower back. And try and lead with your thumb. So as you open your arm, I know you can't see it very well, so I'll show you like this. As you open your arm, try and lead with that thumb rather than, and your arm goes back, rather than the arm coming down here and leading with the flat part of your hand. Again, that's one, it's not putting your shoulder in the right position. If you twist your thumb over, it's encouraging your shoulder to come back and down. But it's a more passive move if you do it the other way around. So, we'll swap sides, I forgot. Other side, we don't want to be wonky. So twist through the other arm this time. I'm just because of space, I'm going to take mine to a bent elbow because I can't get my arm all the way down. I'll hit the wall. And if I move any further forwards, you're not going to be able to see anything. And one more. Okay, and then we're going to take that into a different bend. So again, you can do this seated or you can do it standing. I'm actually going to do it from kneeling so you can see. So what you're aiming to do here is the side bend through the whole of the back. So think of weight evenly distributed, whether you don't need to be kneeling like me. So you'll either be seated or standing, and then reach up as high as you can and then over. So think of pushing that arm, reaching down with this arm as far as you can go, and then swap sides. So quite a slow, controlled move. but still moving. So we're not holding the stretch, reaching down and over. Got a little clunk out of my back then. Okay. And then another type of twist, and again you can still do this one seated, or you can do it kneeling. So this time, hand behind your head. So if you're seated, you're going to take your hand back, so you can sit in like this. You're going to take your hand back and then down towards your knee, and then back as if your elbow's on a diagonal. So it's down towards your knee, and then twist back around. If you are kneeling, it's the same action, but you're going down towards that supporting elbow, and then that's opening your chest as much as you can around to the other side. And think of pushing the floor away with the hand that's on the floor, so that you encourage a little bit more movement out of the spine. Okay, and then we'll do that on the other side. So hand behind the head, elbow to elbow, and then twist all the way around. And think of pushing the floor away. You might be able to get a little bit more twist than I can, as my upper back is not very bendy. In fact, my back is just not very bendy. They don't call me Bendy Anna, despite what some people say. Right, what was the other one I was going to do? Oh, a forward bend to finish. So forward bends are a good way of getting some extension and some movement through your spine, and a good way of stretching the backs of your legs as well. You do have to be careful with them if you've got a bit of a lower back. So if you're seated, you can, I will show you this actually. I'll bring my wheelie chair over. Okay, so if you're seated, sit on the edge of your chair, sitting nice and tall, and you're thinking of bending forwards from your hips, and as if someone is pulling from the crown of your head. So you're still thinking of pushing your bottom backwards and reaching forwards with your head. So you're trying to extend through your spine. If you are standing, you can do the same action. How can I show you? So you're leaning, your bottom's going backwards and legs stay vertical, and if you put your hands on a solid surface, the back of the chair that I'm using, or you can do kitchen work surfaces are good heights to use. So again, you can press down with your arms, that helps. If your lower back is fine with all of those and you are standing, if you stand with your, I'm not that flexible through I'm not bad through my hamstrings actually, but through my back. So I've got my feet about hip width apart. And then you can bend forwards. Again, it's the same hip hinge action. So I'm bending from my hips by pushing my bottom backwards, and we're just going to hang. So you're trying to keep your legs vertical. If you can reach the floor with your hands, brilliant, reach the floor with your hands. But if you can't, that doesn't matter either. So we're just going to encourage your spine to elongate and relax and stretch. Now you will feel a stretch down the back of your legs if you are doing this full hang. If you are using a surface to support yourself, you can still get the action. If you can see the difference, I'm not pushing my bottom backwards there, but if you push your bottom, your hips back, and reach forward with your hands onto a surface, you can get more elongation through your spine. And that's fine if you're doing it that way. If you're confident in your back and you want to, this just helps my back a little bit more. So I get more of a stretch in the back of my legs and through the base of my back, and it also helps through my upper back. And if you, when you're coming up, come up nice and slowly, because the blood might have come to your head, so we don't want a head rush. So that for me is a really good way. If you can just relax and hold that forward hang, then it just helps relax through the whole of my back and the whole of my spine, which feels better, I do have to say. But as I say, do take that one steady. So enjoy the rest of your Friday. It's a bit of a hot and sticky one. Hopefully there's going to be a bit of a thunderstorm to clear the air, but I think we are due a little bit more rainy weather, unfortunately. Just as a reminder, Eat, Move, Be Happy there's a lot more on the website than the peer support group. The peer support group is part of Eat, Move, Be Happy, our wellbeing solution. There are all sorts of fantastic health and wellbeing ideas around moving better, eating better, looking after your mental health and well-being, and just learning about all things health and well-being on the website. And there are different subscription levels, so you can choose the package that suits you the best. So please go and have a look on the website and have a little look around, see what you can find. There are different subscription levels, so you choose the package that's right for you. The website is www.eatmovebehappy.com. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you on Monday.